Playbook for Performance, the official podcast of Shauna Corden, the Joan of Arc for corporate healing and performance. Join the quest to make work fun again by preparing leadership for engaging workplaces. And now, your host.
Hello and welcome everybody. I hope you're doing well. So today we're going to talk about a common frustration across my clients, which really is this idea of why am I working so hard? And it's this idea that as a leader, you feel like you need to do everything in your power to control the results of what your organization is producing. However, that's not the most efficient way to go about it. So I like to call that process command and control. It's this idea of I'm responsible for getting this to the organization, whatever it might be. It might be cutting costs, producing revenue, improving employee engagement, improving customer satisfaction. It could be any of those categories. And in that process, you decide, okay, I own a quarter of this deliverable. You know, some of my peers own some of it too. And so I know what we need to do. Here's my vision for what it's going to look like, how we're going to do it. And then you basically dictate to your people how we're going to accomplish this goal. Well, what do you think that does to your staff? It doesn't motivate them because nobody likes to be told what to do. In fact, there's all kinds of research that shows that our brains actually shut down. That creative part of us shut down when we are forced to do something that we're told to do. And we are not naturally motivated to embellish or amplify or add to it. We're in compliance mode, and compliance mode, unless we're internally motivated, is temporary. So think about that whole idea of like speeding on a freeway. As soon as you see what might be a sheriff, a police car, or something like that, you're going to automatically let off the gas. You might even brake a little bit, but you're just temporarily complying because you don't want to get in trouble. You're not naturally motivated to say, oh, I think that this speed is the best way to go. It's safer, it's most efficient, etc. So when we do that, not only are we working harder than we need to, but we're actually making our workforce less efficient because they don't get to be creative. They don't get to take any ownership. So what we want to do, instead of being the one brain that's powering a staff of 10, is we want to set the vision. That is our job. Our job as leaders is to catch and distribute the work amongst our team members. Joe's going to do this. Pradeep's going to do this, Jane's going to do this, etc. But let those individuals come up with how they are going to accomplish it. Now, one of the things that is really impressive about tenured employees is the networks that they have built in the company. So in order to get things done, they may leverage previous relationships that they have built over the years. They may have been in that department. They may have worked with this person at one time in a different area. All of these things help them think more broadly about how to get things done. Not only that, they work with their natural gifts and talents. So I'm a very disciplined person. I'm very organized. I like to get things done sequentially. I like to have a plan. I like to communicate that plan. I'm famous for working across organizational boundaries to help people get things done. And I'm not limited by the construct that's there. This may be true for your employees as well. They may get things done in a completely different way than how you would have got it done. It doesn't mean it's wrong. Doesn't mean it's better. But it does mean that you don't have to do the work. You don't have to be the brain that powers getting that thing done. Your job is to just make sure that we're on track, that each person's got a number that they're trying to hit, that you're getting regular progress reports, and that you're available should they run into some kind of roadblock. So that might mean that you need to grease the skids by talking to someone several levels up to get funding or allocating staff or permission for things. It might mean that you need to provide air cover because they're going to do something that's kind of unpopular, but it's the right thing to get things done. It might mean that, you give them a little bit of slack in terms of the schedule, and you're going to make up for it in other ways. That is the most enjoyable form of leadership there is. So when I hear my clients, my colleagues coming back from SHRM, talking about how overworked they are, I'm like, of course you are, because you're doing all the work. And they are a little surprised and taken back that I'm like, yeah, duh. But that's the way it is when you don't trust your colleagues, your subordinates to get things done. And it's really quite arrogant because it suggests that you think only your ideas are good enough, only you can get things done, and that the whole thing will fall apart without you. But I promise you, God forbid, if you were hit by a beer truck tomorrow, the organization would still get things done. No one is irreplaceable, and that's why we need to have that camaraderie, that rapport, your leadership style be the most compelling thing. That's what makes great leaders. So people want to work for you, they want to get things done for you, and when they exceed expectations, it makes you look good. So my challenge for all of you leaders this week is to kind of loosen your grip a little bit and not feel like, gosh, I have to control every little thing. People don't perform unless I tell them what to do. I promise you, if they learn to trust you, they will submit their ideas. They'll become more innovative. They will take more ownership. They will collaborate more, and they'll get better results. They will get better results, and you can go home at 5:30 or 6. You can coach your kids' little league team. You can, make dinner and eat together as a family. You can sleep well at night. But it does require that you need to learn to let go. You need to learn to trust. So, how do we start if we've been in command and control, holding tightly to the reins the whole time? You have to make an announcement. You have to declare what you're going to do, because otherwise people will not trust you. They'll go, this is just temporary, or he read this in a book, or she read this in a book. And, just wait. Next week, they'll go back to micromanaging me again. So you announce, I want to move to more a coach approach for leadership. I realize I'm working way too hard. I'm not letting you bring your gifts and talents to the workplace. And here's my commitment. I want to declare the vision, declare the measures that we have to meet as an obligation to our peers, to the company. But I'm inviting you to come up with how we're going to get it done. Now, it doesn't mean that you just hand it off and then you wait till the end of the quarter and say, I'm done. It can be individual one-on-one conversations with each of your staff members that says, Joe, you're in charge of putting together this event for these clients at this time. How can I help you? And Joe will say, well, I want to use this vendor. I want to spend this amount of money. I think we're going to have this. What I could use is one more person from this team. And I could use, a quick sign off because we're not going to get this venue. If we don't sign right away, we'll lose our reservation. Those kinds of things. You will be surprised. And then essentially, your task as a leader is just helping everybody get stuff done by removing those roadblocks. They may ask for some mentoring. They may ask for some help. That's not a sign of failure. That doesn't mean they're not capable. You need to be trustworthy when they come to you and ask for help. It's not a failure on their part. You're just collaborating with them at that point. Now, if you think that their strategy is weak, I would not come out and say, that's weak. Besides being unpopular, I would use a Socratic method of questioning that says, walk me through how you got to this number that we're required to deliver on with this strategy. I want to be able to explain it to my leaders. I want to make sure we haven't missed anything, et cetera, et cetera. And they will appreciate that. Be open-minded. Let them go through it. Now, if you can see that someone's on a crash course, we really want them to fail quickly and fail forward. So learn very quickly, corrective action plan right away, see if you can build some redundant systems and things. But really, we learn from our failures. If we process something, if we actually do the lessons learned and we incorporate those lessons learned into the next iteration of the plan, we do so much better. We learn so much. But for those of you who are used to hitting milestone after milestone, goal after goal, you're just not trying that hard. You're doing the easy, what I call sandbag goals. And you're not really stretching yourself, not really putting yourself out there. So it's okay to fail every once in a while. We just want to make sure we got backup plans when it comes to corporate obligations and things like that. If you want more help on this, on learning these skills about how to let go and let your people really do the work so you can sleep better at night, there's options. There's coaching. There's learning these coaching skills. I teach these workshops to leaders all the time. I'm here to help. So, if you want help, what you can do is you can just drop a note into the YouTube comments here, or if you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, you can just email us at podcast@shawnacorden.com and we'll get right back to you. Otherwise, join us next time after you're sleeping a little better at night. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Give us a like, give us a review. I am giving away signed copies of my book or my new book for reviews on the podcast. So just take a screenshot of you and your review of the podcast, and I will get a book out to you. So take good care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Playbook for Performance. To learn more about Shauna Corden, her consulting programs and tools, please visit her website at shawnacorden.com and follow us on social media at Shauna Corden.